everybody. Welcome to Hollywood Live. My guest today is somebody special. He plays Aladdin in the stage play Aladdin. I'm talking about the inimitable Audie Roy. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
I got to tell you, okay, I missed the Beyonce concert. I must have been the only person in the world, but I got to see you in Aladdin, and it was one of the best times I have had since way before the pandemic. Okay, just so you know, we jumped, we shouted, we yelled, we screamed. And we laughed. It was so much fun. First of all, the energy in this show, in this performance is just, it's infectious, but it's incredible. How do you do 8 performances like that every week? How do you do that?
I mean, that's the age-old question, but personally, I think a lot of caffeine. I drink a lot of caffeine, and that kind of pushes me through the show.
Wow. Well, I can't imagine how much caffeine. They must be putting it through an intravenous kind of a thing, because between you and we of course had Marcus on the show here before you got to Los Angeles, before you came here to the Pantages, and he alone brings enough energy to just sort of spread it out over everybody. But you know, the thing I love about this, it's an age-old story. The first movie, Aladdin movie, was 1992, I believe, and it really did. It was the biggest grossing film that year, I think. And then, of course, the stage play started in 2014. And I don't even know if you were old enough to go see a stage play in 2014. It's been almost 10 years ago. But how did your theatrical career start?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I always like to say that it was my sister. She started pursuing theater in elementary school, and being the younger brother I am, you know, I kind of copied her, and I was like, I'm going to do that too. And so eventually she dropped out of it, but like I had caught that bug. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do with my career. And ever since, I had just been pursuing it. I went to many like theater camps as in high school, like during the summer. And that just like further amplified my love for the craft.
But you know, even though a lot of people go to the camp and theater schools, they don't end up playing Aladdin in a Disney production that is like, you know, one of the best ever done. So that there's a big leap there, Aki. It's like, how did that happen?
Oh man, I mean, I guess I owe it to all my teachers and all the people who have been rooting me on. You know, I've had so much support throughout my life that I feel like some people, especially like coming from my culture, like you don't get that, especially when you're pursuing the arts. And so I'm very lucky in that sense. And I had the correct connections to kind of like further my career in that sense.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the staging of this, which is just phenomenal. It's Disney. Disney's been creating magic for over 100 years. This is one of their bigger magic tricks that they pulled off with this show. I mean, the staging, the costumes. I think, and I have to put my glasses on to see all it because I want to make sure I'm correct. I think there were there were like 200 or 300 costumes. Oops, of course that didn't. Okay. Well, there are 150 lights used in the show, 15 tons of scenery, 75 people to deliver these performances every night. And I was trying, oh yeah, here we go. 236 costumes and they change and you do it magically on stage. Give me a little bit of insight of how that's done. Cause you know, I was like, okay, how'd they do this? Diana Ross used to do that years ago.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, they've got it down to a science. I mean, when you've done a show for almost 10 years, they kind of know the ins and outs of what you need and how much time you need for each thing. My own change on stage, as you were mentioning, is I think happens in the matter of like 20 to 25 seconds. And I don't want to quite ruin the Disney magic, but when it happens, it's so magical. And you know, it's so methodic as well. Marcus Martin, our genie, likes to say that there's so much choreography that goes on backstage, as well as choreography on stage. Because you know, if you don't know what's going on backstage, you could easily get hurt because there's so much like happening at all times to pull this off. And so, yeah, it's so much fun.
I had not even thought about that, because above and beyond all of the, the cords and the lines and all the electrical stuff, the way they move those sets, 15 tons of set is not a small number. That's
Yeah.
pretty heavy, and you really don't want to get in anybody's way, on top of everything else, on top of all the singing and dancing. But it's still the age-old love story, and the thing I like about it, it's for all generations. I mean, there were people there in every single age group, a lot of little babies and toddlers and little kids that are a little bit older than that, and they were all laughing too. It was
Mhm.
so much fun. So we were all jumping up and shouting together. But that age-old love story, between Aladdin and Jasmine, why is that still so just not only important, but just so dear to us?
Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect, guy meets girl and falls in love at first sight story. And I know our Jasmine Senzel Amadi she likes to talk about that moment where they meet in the marketplace, where they're dancing in slow motion, as it's very similar to West Side Story. It's very similar to so many stories that we know and that we love. And so when it has that same kind of blueprint, but it has its own kind of spin to it. We have so many different cultural aspects to our show that kind of give it a different spin. And it keeps it fresh, but it keeps it familiar. And I think that's why people are so drawn to our story.
You made a very interesting point. The cast is extremely diverse. You, of
Yeah.
course, are the touring cast, but I mean, the New York cast, everybody, all the casts are, oh dear, I'm so sorry. I meant to turn all of that down. Um, all of the casts for all of these shows are very diverse. I'm not so sure it started out that way. I can't remember back to 1992, to be honest. I was around, but I don't remember. But that to me plays into where we are in America today. Like your culture, where are you from? Where's your culture originally from?
Yeah, my parents are both from India. I'm actually first generation here in America, so there's a lot of history behind my family and stuff. So
Right, exactly. But you're still an American. That's
yes.
what America was all about. And many people in the cast are the same way. So, when we look around and we think about all the troubles and everything that everybody's going through right now, you look at something like Aladdin and you say, okay, well, isn't this what America's about? How would you address that question?
Yeah, I mean, especially now, I always find it such an honor to be on the stage with so many different people of different cultures, because Aladdin is a show that derives its, I guess, beauty from so many different cultures. And so to see all these cultures represented is such an honor. And I mean, I've said it before, but it sort of feels a little weird when if it is not done that way. It feels like it doesn't fully represent what it's supposed to do. And the fact that we get to do that every day, 8 shows a week, is just such a big honor and a responsibility.
It is a responsibility. The other obviously large theme in here, which it always has been, is the truth.
Yeah.
Telling the truth. And what is the truth, versus what isn't the truth. And I thought about it. I said, in 1992, when this film came out, that was not an issue here in America. Not like now. So the fact that it does address truth, how do you as an individual, how do you make sure that theme is really conveyed, and do you live that out in your life?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, as an individual and as an actor, truth is what we're striving for in our shows. We're trying to get to the bottom of the truth and basically show that with our own performances. And so I guess that's always always a question in my mind when I'm doing a show. And in my real life, yeah, I'd like to say that I'm pretty truthful. But yeah, it's definitely a responsibility to have that truth, and hopefully I do that truth justice.
Yeah, no, you absolutely do in the show. And I can look at you and talk to you and tell that you do that in your life as well. That's a good thing. But I do ask the question because I think a lot of younger people, maybe younger than you even, are confused these days because, they're on all of these social media platforms, which don't always tell the truth, nor do they promote the truth, or do they even give you any choices? And people aren't into that much critical thinking. So what would you suggest that people do to find their truth in life?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these are tough questions. I know.
Yeah, that is a tough question. I feel like I personally don't quite like social media because for that exact reason. Of course I have it and I use it, but as long as you remind yourself of that, I think you don't get sucked into that kind of mentality that Instagram or social media is reality, and it's not. In real life, it's not. And as long as you have a good support system and a grounding system, like your friends, your family, who will tell you the truth, who will tell you, when you're doing something wrong, when you do something right, that's all you can ask for, I think.
Yeah, no, and that's very true. That's so important. So now, where do you guys go when you leave the Pantages? And is this the only touring group right now for Aladdin, or is there another one?
For Aladdin, I believe in the United States, this is our only touring group. I think there's a UK tour coming out soon, I believe. But yeah, this is our only touring company. And after the Pantages, we go to Tulsa, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So very different, but
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, very well. I'm going to suggest that everybody in the country needs to see this. They really do. And there's something about stage performances that, I know everyone doesn't have the advantages that we have, like in large cities like Los Angeles with the fabulous Pantages Theater, which is part of the Nederlander group out of New York. But any city that has stage, I always suggest people go see it anyway, but this is an absolute must see. I mean, it just to feel joy again. And I think people need to feel that joy.
100%.
They really do. How long is the run here? How much longer do you have here?
We are here until I believe the 23rd of September.
Oh, is that all? Because I was coming back again.
I mean, we have another week and a half, so please come back.
I may try to do that. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for really making me feel good and happy, and everybody around me, just watching you perform and sing and dance and laugh and all that you do. And I know you're going to have a really big career, just so you know that, Aki.
That means so much. Thank you so much.
What do you want people to come away with? I told you what I came away with, but is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience out there about coming to see the show?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would say the same thing. I hope you get some joy. And for those who have seen the original movie, I hope that that bit of nostalgia was felt. And I hope we did it justice. We really strive for that, and again, we strive for the truth. So hopefully, we did it right.
Oh, you did it right. Not to worry, you did it right up in here. Okay.
Thank you so
much, Aki. And for everybody else out there, if you get a chance wherever you are, please, you do not want to miss Aladdin, the stage production. So I would highly recommend it. And I would highly recommend that you take care of yourself today and somebody else too. Thanks. Don't forget, tune in next time.